How's it going, guys and gals? This is Anthony, and today we're back at it with a new video. I know that I promise some reviews, but you need to understand I am on my finals week. So starting May 17th, the Raw and SmackDown weekly reviews are gonna be starting up in the channel. Because my last final is May 16th, which is a Friday. So the next day, Saturday, you will have your weekly Raw and SmackDown reviews. So first off, instead of doing those reviews, I just decided to talk about some of the big points that have happened on the Raw and SmackDowns after WrestleMania 41 on the road to Backlash in St. Louis, which is today. This video will be going up around noon. It's gonna be up around noon. I'm filming it at around 5 in the morning, Saturday. So I'm gonna go to sleep for a couple hours and then wake up. And then at 7 p.m., watch Backlash. I just want to tell you, if you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So now let's go to talk about what's been going on the Raw and SmackDowns after WrestleMania 41. So some of the biggest points on this road to Backlash has been the emphasis on the women's division, which is obviously building up to allegedly Evolution 2, or whatever the hell they are gonna name that all-women's pay-per-view. Because we've seen, Roxanne and Julia have been called up to the main roster. The last couple of weeks, Stephanie Baker has been doing double duty. She's facing Jordan Grace on Battleground, so who knows if she's gonna put Jordan over and then she's gonna move up full time to the main roster. Because if you remember, the rumors at the time when she signed with WWE is that she was gonna be on NXT for around 12 months. A full year. And she's already been there for almost 10 months. So the time is right near for that title reign. Who knows? And another thing, I've been loving the Seth Rollins stuff with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. They made Sami Zayn a target, which I've been saying for a while now, that Sami Zayn is going to be on the main event of WrestleMania 42, and I think we have discovered who's going to be the world champion at the time. It's going to be Seth Rollins. Because if you watch last Monday night, Jey Uso lost the match against Rollins by DQ. So they did that on purpose for a rematch, which could be on SummerSlam when Seth wins the title, which will lead to Crown Jewel in Australia, because that they're gonna continue with the Crown Jewel Championship thing. So that on that show we're gonna have champion versus champion, and they're not gonna have Rollins versus Cena. It's heel versus heel. They're not gonna have Jay versus Cody. It's Bayface versus Bayface. Who has not beaten Cody Rhodes yet? Seth Rollins. I think Seth and Cody will be the champions at the end of SummerSlam, and they're gonna build up to Cody versus Seth 4, where Seth beats Cody. Dominic winning the IC title. I've been loving, the facial expressions that Finn Balor has been doing during this last couple of weeks. But I'm gonna leave that for next week review to go more into depth. So Let's kick off with the review. I mean, not the review, the predictions for Backlash. First off, we're kicking off with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Lyra Valkyria defends against Becky Lynch. Lyra and Becky won the Women's Tag Team titles on WrestleMania 41, but lost them the night after, leading to Becky Lynch turning on Lyra, attacking her. Then on the next week episode, on the April 28th episode of Raw, she reveals that she was the one that attacked Bayley, and that's the storyline reason as to why Bayley lost on WrestleMania. I mean, Bayley was out of WrestleMania, and I like how she used some stuff that Bayley said on the Chris Van Vliet interview, where where she was like, "Why am I not a bigger star? Why am I not a bigger star?" Where in a very heelish way, I've been loving how in that promo from April 28th, excuse me. Sorry, I'm just thinking from the top of my head because I didn't take notes. Where she was practically calling Bayley a yes woman, and then Lyra coming out, and I think that promo with Becky, I love Lyra Valkyria in the ring, but she had zero charisma until that promo. Here she showed the fire, the people bought her. She put over the city like a great babyface would do. And then they started to brawl. Becky bailed when Lyra thought that Becky went running like a coward. Becky comes from behind and attacks her. Takes the title, poses with it. Who do I think wins here? On NXT, Lyra has already beaten Becky. She doesn't need to beat her again. She can already say, I beat Becky Lynch. So for me, I'm gonna say that we're gonna have a new Women's Intercontinental Champion in Becky Lynch. I think this is gonna be a pretty heel heavy night. Next up, we have Pat McAfee against Gunther. Obviously, Gunther got mad because Michael Cole said that Gunther tapped out. They had an excellent promo last Monday night on Raw, that face off, and then the week before on April 28th, that Pat McAfee promo was great. So they took something that on paper was stupid and made it something important. This is the literal definition, making chicken salad out of chicken shit, which I've been begging for since WrestleMania 40 for Gunther to do. I've been begging for it because I haven't seen this Gunther since he was IC champion. I didn't see this Gunther while he was world heavyweight champion. This is why I was criticizing Gunther's promo work during his entire world title reign. Here he was excellent because he didn't have to do much because the people love Pat McAfee, and I love me some Pat McAfee. I mean, this match should not last any longer than 5 minutes. Pat McAfee could win, but I'm gonna say Gunther has to win because you need to build him up for when Goldberg makes the save for Pat McAfee. Remember, Goldberg, Atlanta Falcons, Pat McAfee, Indianapolis Colts, former football players. And I would really like the Gunther promos calling, You're an American footballer. Because I think that would be funny. I don't know. Gunther needs to show more personality. I'll keep saying it. Lyra has shown personality on the field with Becky. Why can't Gunther show it? You know what I mean? But I think Gunther wins this one. Two heels winning. Fatal four-way match for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu defends against the former champion LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. On the SmackDown after WrestleMania, Damian Priest cost LA Knight's opportunity to pick up for a rematch against Jacob Fatu, practically giving the DQ win to Drew McIntyre when he attacked Drew on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. And then, week after, LA Knight and Damian Priest have a promo slash match. Jacob Fatu gets involved, Solo Sikoa gets involved. And we're starting to see that Solo Sikoa getting involved is kind of getting into Jacob's nerves, which I think is the story they're telling on the road to SummerSlam. And you know what I say, I think Solo should be squashed when he faces Jacob in like 24 seconds. Solo Sikoa does not have the A factor. Like, how the hell? And Braun Strowman was on the release list, was released, and Solo Sikoa was not. I'm just saying. That would be me. That would be me. But hey, it's not my company. It's not my company. Yeah, but Braun got fired and then he renegotiated a deal where he's gonna be on a part-time basis. So I think, hey, that's a pretty good gig, eh? That's a pretty good gig for Braun, so he can get into better ring shape because, man, those knees are messed up. But yeah, I think Solo Sikoa may do something here. Jacob may get on his nerves, but still, Jacob Fatu will retain the United States Championship. The question here is, who is Jacob Fatu gonna pin? Is he pinning Damian Priest or is he pinning LA Knight? Because Drew is getting super protected. I think he should pin LA Knight so he can take him fully out of the equation of the United States Championship. They've already feuded, so it's time to like take LA Knight out of the US title picture for good. For good at the moment, so Damian, Drew, and Jacob can still feud with each other. Because we need some babyfaces that are over on SmackDown to face John Cena. So that's why I will have Jacob pin LA Knight so he can get out of the US title equation and go to the world title equation as a possible John Cena contender. Because outside of Cody, Orton, and LA Knight, there's really nobody else on SmackDown that's an interesting feud for Cena. Because all of the interesting people that could have feuded with Cena are on Raw. Seth turned heel, so that's not happening. Punk would have been great. Roman would have been great with the roles reversed. Because every time Roman and Cena faced, it was either Roman was the heel or both of them were baby faces. It was never, Roman babyface and John Cena as the heel. So I think that would have been a pretty interesting dynamic, but yeah, LA Knight has to face John Cena, so he should be pinned here as a way to put him on the world title equation. Next up, we have Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta. On the Raw after WrestleMania, Dominic successfully defended the Intercontinental Championship against Penta after a JD McDonough interference. On the April 28th episode of Raw, Penta costed McDonough and Balor an opportunity, a number one contenders match for the World Tag Team titles against the Viking Raiders, or War Raiders, Viking Experience, whatever you want to call them, Eric and Ivar. So, this here is what will the Judgment Day do? That is literally the story of this match. Obviously, Chad Gable interfered on Penta's match against JD McDonough. He mocked Penta losing to, he mocked Phoenix losing to Grande Americano. And I'm gonna put an idea out there. I do not know if it's gonna happen, but if it happens, it happens. I obviously Cena is gonna retain his title in the main event, and all of the winners that I've predicted are heels. You cannot have all the heels winning. A babyface has to win here. Penta wins the Intercontinental title and goes on to Triple Mania, and he goes to Triple Mania against Grande Americano on Triple Mania 33. Penta versus Grande Americano, Intercontinental Championship versus Mask, Campeonato Intercontinental versus Máscara. I think that's the main event for Triple Mania 33. That's my prediction. That's why Penta's winning. I think it's gonna be Penta and Grande Americano on Triple Mania, IC title versus Mask. Penta wins here, and then they do the Randy Orton being turned on Evolution beatdown on Dominic, and Rey Mysterio makes the save. Because we know the Dominic beatdown is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So now we're moving to the main event. They are promoting this as one last time. This is a feud that needs no introduction. John Cena versus Randy Orton. Classic feud. Excuse me for the garbage truck passing through at almost 5 in the morning. This is a feud that needs no introduction. We saw Raw after WrestleMania, RKO, the excellent promo they did on that face-off on the SmackDown after WrestleMania, where practically Randy told John to have kids so he could have that, so he could release that anger or something, and then John was like, I don't have kids because I've been raising these morons kids for 20 years. That was such an excellent line, and how Randy referenced how we are in Bizarro world where Cena's a bad guy and he's a good guy. It's incredible how Randy Orton is the voice of reason when he's been a piece of shit in the entirety of John Cena's career. And now he's been the voice of reason. I love it. You see, this is called character development. Something that the company down in Jacksonville rarely has unless you are a Swerve Strickland or a Tony Storm. And obviously Cena's winning here. And I'm going to throw a prediction. I think he's winning because with the help, not of Travis Scott. Travis Scott will not help John Cena here. But debuting Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is going to debut here and he's going to destroy Randy Orton. John Cena laughs. Attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3. By orders of the final boss. So yeah, that's my Backlash 2025 predictions with some of my favorite points on the Raw and SmackDowns after WrestleMania. Oh, I forgot to mention the excellent Triple Threat TLC match. Man, Gargano. I do not like Johnny Gargano. Okay, I do not like Johnny Gargano wrestling style. I love his YouTube channel. I'm actually subscribed to his YouTube channel, but not him as a wrestler. But that guy has some guts when Shelly and Sabin were like Sabin grabbed him and both of them were standing on the table outside of the ring, and then Shelly springboards to the outside to do a skull and bones, and then how Ciampa and Hawkins recreated the WrestleMania 17 spear spot. Chef's kiss. That match does not make it justice me watching. Montez Ford hitting everybody with a prosthetic leg was excellent. That match should have been on WrestleMania. I'm just gonna say it. But yeah, those are my predictions for Backlash. If you like this type of content, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, cherish beautiful moments with your families, create beautiful memories, because life's too short, but those memories last a lifetime. As always, this is Anthony, signing off. Bye-bye.